What you are about to witness, ladies and gentlemen, could only be described as one of those surreal British TV moments when the polished mass of establishment media suddenly crashes and it does to live on air. Imagine the scene. Good morning, Britain. That bastion of predictable chatters where panelists normally not alone in unison lie, bored commuters on the underground, and the Capon Kevin Maguire blurs of that Charlie Kirk. The modern American commentator was far right, not just right. Mind you, not conservative, not controversial, oh no, far right. The scarlet letter of our times, the instant smear that makes the bad redundant. But here is the twist. Someone there to challenge him? Yes, challenge on live television, and Maggie looked like a showy cow sitting on his Latin homework. You could almost hear the producer in the control room muttering, "Could defeat, for heaven's sake." Yet, miraculously, they didn't. For a brief, glorious moment. The establishment screen went up in flames, and the audience saw what happened when the lazy level is exposed for what is a hollow insult. Think about it. The term far right today is Swiss army knife of political Muslim is used to silence, to delegitimize, to mark someone as unit for police society. The moment you say it, debate ends, but press people like Maguire to define it. Suddenly, they found their grand accusation, collapsed like a shovel in a gale. And that's exactly what happened on GMB. Charlie agree with him or not, was a conservative commentator who spent years debating on campuses and bringing millions of young people into politics. That's not far right. That's civic engagement. To brand him otherwise, particularly after his assassination, is grotesque, and yet McGill, like so many in his stride, reached reflexively for the insult. But this time it didn't land. Now let's pause for a moment. Here's Crickets argued he flirted with conspiracy theories, the so-called Great Replacement, skepticism about civil rights legislation, and support for gun rights. Strong position, controversial position, but so what? Since when did expressing controversial opinions warrant the death penalty or permanent exile for legitimate debate? For heaven's sake, this is supposed to be the bright time, the land that invented free speech long before American turned it into a constitutional slogan. And yet, here we are watching British commentators smear while discussing the murder of an American boy. The irony is rich. The Saints put this wet crocodile tears about protecting democracy, but the moment someone steps out a prop script, out comes the branding iron file right. It's us, our Minister of Truth, has outsourced its HR department to ATV. The assassination of Charlie Kirk is not merely an American tragedy. It is a cautionary tale for all of us, because its free space can be narrowed, policed, or demonized across the Atlantic. Don't think for a second the same playbook won't be deployed here. And when even of God morning brighten the narrative crafts, you know the monopoly of truth is sleeping. But that was only the first act of this political drama. Enter state left Sir Keir Starmer, desperately trying to project authority while his party drowned in scandal. You could almost feel the Westminster corridor rumbling as Lord Mandelson's name resurfaced, not just as a has been, Variety rarely, but as a man linked, however unconformably, to Jeffrey Epstein. Yes, that Epstein, the convinced pedophile whose shadow stretches across the global lie like an unshakable stain, and who prayed tell appointed Mandelson to plumb diplomatic role, none other than Stammer himself, with what betting, with what judgment. According to the reformed UK Richard Tice, Starmer made the appointment on the basis of a two-page dossier. That convenience closed over Mandelson unsavory association. Two pages. Most Britons fill out more paperwork when applying for a Tesco Club card. The House of Commons erupted in an extraordinary 3 hour debate. Emily Thornberry, hardly a rebel, and Mike and Mandelson ties to Epstein were widely known yet ignored. David Davis led the chairs, MPs sharpened their canines, and for once the government benches looked visible riddle before UK smelled blood, and Tice was the two-time accused Stammer of both hopeful judgment a misaligned parliament, in other words, not just incompetent but dishonest too. Picture the Prime Minister during all this, sweating like a man waiting for a dentist drill, aware that his own party whispered he may not last until May. His credibility was already eroded. Now is a dissolving faster than a sugar cube in Earl Grey from UK ever the insurance force. Declared they were parking tax on both Labour and Tory laws, and the timing could not have been worse for Stammer, who faces international humiliation, use of Trump aid, and other political restoration. So let us connect the dots. On one side, you have the media establishment weaponish level like far right to silence dissent. On the other, you have a prime minister up to his neck in scandal, appointing figures linked to disgrace elites were trying to convince Britain he is a voice of integrity. Meanwhile, ordinary people, the viewers, the voters, the audience, are watching and they are not booing the old tricks anymore. Moments like the GMB class matter because they expose how brittle the establishment narrative has become. This reminds us that truth has a funny way of slipping through the cracks, no matter how many talking heads try to plaster over it. And each stammer thinks Mandelson's baggage will quit fade. He may be in for a rude awakening. Britain is restless. The gatekeepers are losing control, and the next election could look very different indeed. So, what do you think? Is Britain sleepwalking into deeper scandal, or are we finally seeing the curtain pulled back on the charade? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more straight talk. BritSpectrumNews, think different.